All right, everybody. I just did a quick, short little tier list of some basic games. This was like 30 basic games tier list. So here we go. Starting from the bottom, Candyland. You just stack up the deck however you want it, and then if you want your kids to win, you move around the cards a little bit, and then you say, "All right, let's play a game," and then you make it so that they get all the double colors and in the perfect order, and you get all the bad colors. So Candyland, yeah, that's a nope. Completely lucky. Trouble, completely lucky, don't like it. Sorry, completely lucky, no strategy, don't like it. Monopoly, it's got strategy, I just don't like that strategy. Checkers, that one is a not a broken game, but what's it called? It's a solved game. Is it solved in a cat's game or is it solved in first player wins? I don't remember. Battleship, kind of, we'll put that around Candyland area. Like once you know the strategy, just like there's like an optimal way to place the things. The first player has an advantage, and everybody's just going at it. Connect four, um, that one is solved for the first player winning. I remember. Um, Mind trap or mouse trap, that one's not so good, but it's at the top of the nope list. Then we got sequence. Sequence is like a little bit of like a bingo type thing, so there's a little bit of strategy in it, or it's got you're playing face cards to get five in a row, somewhere, and so there's a little bit of strategy in it. You're all playing on the same board, but not much strategy. Categories is fine. All the C tiers are fine. Rummy Cub, fine. Pictionary, fine. Guess Who, sure. So if you have 50% males and females on your board for guessing, the very first thing you do is ask a question that splits it in half. And then the next thing you do is split it in half again. Just like if you were going to ask what number am I thinking of from 1 to 10, and you can ask questions to figure it out. I wouldn't ask, is it 9 or is it a single digit number? Yes. Okay, it's not 10. Yeah, like I would ask very pointed questions like, is it an even number? Or I would ask, is it below 4? Or is it below 5, right? Like, so you kind of split the decision space with each question. So evenly until you can get the right answer, and that's how you get the right answer in the lowest amount of questions. So Guess Who, once there's an optimal strategy, like an optimal what you do, then there's not really much you can do after that optimal strategy is done, and then it comes down to luck of where you placed your ships, or um, you have the right people that you have as your Guess Who person. So Clue, who's just all right. um, a lot of rolling the dice and moving around a deduction game. Um, Chess is just all right. I know a lot of people love chess and really learn all of the different strategies and become like chess grandmasters and stuff. And it's all very exciting. And forking pieces and having hanging pieces and knowing the right openings. So there's whole lore that goes into chess, or like whole world that you can get into with chess. Boggle was I don't even know if I remember Boggle. Rolling dice into letters. That's a C tier. Backgammon, that's another C tier, just okay. Accident Allies almost makes it to the B tier, but it's just too long for a game. Just kind of simulating war. All right. So Twister, that's exciting. You're trying to a little bit of a dexterity game, and dexterity games were fun. Aggravation, isn't that where like you're trying to put the pieces all together? Remember aggravation actually. So maybe I'll put that down here. Like I don't really. All right, risk. Um, that is a little bit more strategic than some of these other games. Like the first turn for Axis and Allies, what you need to do is to. Um, I know people are gonna burn me for this, but I don't know the strategy that well for Axis and Allies, but I think very first turn is Japan. You want to attack Pearl Harbor. Why would you not? That's just what you're supposed to do. And if you don't, then the American player is going to overwhelm you. So there might be some like rote things that you have to do. I like the risk doesn't really have that. There's not like a rote thing that you have to do. You could go for the Australia strategy, but somebody doing something different could change that, and then doing the Australia strategy is not optimal. If somebody is willing to just turtle up and fight tooth and nail for Australia, then you got to go somewhere else and take a different continent. Um, so there's differences based on what the other players do, rather than having the obvious moves in Axis and Allies, at least in the beginning turns. And that's as far as I can ever get in Axis and Allies, because it takes so stinking long to get done with. Um, and I'll get roasted in the comments for that, because there's a lot of people who love Axis and Allies. Um, just kidding. Nobody's commenting on this video. Let's be real. All right. So then Scrabble. Scrabble is a that's pretty strategic. I'd say, like, think through the right letters to play. Life. I would say Life was. I have a lot of nostalgia with Life. That was exciting, but it's all randomness. So sure, I'll put it back in the C tier where it should belong. But so much nostalgia for it, and so many lives that I lived through, and either went into the poor land or went into the millionaire's land at the very end. Life was fun. Okay, Operation. That's a great dexterity game. The zzz that you get from it, like, if you were to rank like games that I have actually been afraid of, Operation is pretty high up there. Also, Don't Wake Daddy. Ooh, that was a scary one. In real life, Don't Wake Daddy also was pretty scary. All right, so Pass the Pigs. Pass the Pigs, that's great. You know, you roll the pig dice, and you don't want them to be making bacon. Don't want them touching each other. You lose all your points that way. And yeah. All right, so then next up, Trivial Pursuit. I'm going to lower that. It's not really A tier for me, but I do like that there's a trivia game on this list of basic games. We'll put that in the B tier. I just like it underneath Twister. And then finally, Catan, the gateway game that got me into board gaming. I think I made a previous video earlier this month about that. So yeah, Catan, great game. I don't play it much anymore. Got into other games, and then finally now got into like Terraforming Mars, Seven Wonders Duel, big part of this channel, Galaxy Trucker, Five Tribes. A lot of great titles out there that I wouldn't have discovered without Catan. So, and if I hadn't gotten into Catan, or one thing that got me into Catan was board gaming in general. And I had played all of these other board games before I even found Catan. So in a way, even though these ones weren't the gateway game that got me into the strategy games hobby, they were the ones that got me into the gateway game that got me into the strategy games hobby. So a little bit of praise to all of these games, even Monopoly. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.